Last year, Disney released a fun little special involving the Muppets version of The Haunted Mansion. And now they're talking about making another film with Winona Ryder, Owen Wilson, and several others. So it seems fitting that we're going to dive into the other Haunted Mansion movie, starring Eddie Murphy. Yeah, I know. From what I've heard, either you love this movie or you hate it. There's no in between. My question is, does it deserve all the shitting on it's received over the years? This review was requested by Bronson Wright Wolf. So without further ado, this is my review of The Haunted Mansion. The movie opens with a festive ball where one tragedy results in another. Fast forward to present day, and we meet realtors extraordinaire Jim, played by Eddie Murphy, and Sarah Evers, played by Marsha Thomason. Sure, Jim's great at his job, but what he's not great at is prioritizing his family. In an effort to make it up to them, he suggests that they go on a vacation with their kids, Megan, played by Ari Davis, and Michael, played by Mark John Jeffries. However, before they set out on this little family adventure, they head to a mansion upon the request of its owner.
Ways to be patient. Alright, we're in business. Too bad we can't stay, baby.
Apparently, you forego certain self-preservation instincts if you're a realtor.
Wow. Now, that's something you don't see every day.
I'll take it. I think this sets the bar for my goals on making an entrance. This is Ramsley, played by Terrence Stomp, butler to Edward Gracie, played by Nathaniel Parker. They discuss the mansion and its history over dinner. During this time, the river overflows, trapping the Evers here for the night. They're led to their rooms, and this is where Sarah confronts Jim about his career greed. Ramsley takes Jim to the library under the pretense of speaking with Mr. Gracie. They have a conversation where Ramsley impresses upon Jim the importance of Gracie letting go and moving on. During a moment where he's left alone, Jim manages to find a secret passageway by sheer clumsiness, which leads him to a hallway of horrors and psychological drama. At the same time, Megan and Michael are led to the attic by a glowing orb of ectoplasm. Here they discover that there was once a woman named Elizabeth, who bears a striking resemblance to their mother. They also meet Ezra, played by Wallace Shawn, and Emma, played by Dina Spy Bay Waters. With Jim out of the way, Sarah is directed to the library where Gracie greets her. He explains why he's looking to leave the mansion, this being the tragic history surrounding the property.
I am Madame Leota, seer of all.
There she is! The queen herself! Need I even introduce? If I'm being honest, having Jennifer Tilly cast as Madame Leota was one of the best moves of this production. Leota tells Jim that there's a curse on the mansion and all within that he needs to break for his and his family's sake. So this is what it would look like if the marching band were the bullies. On the bright side, Jim meets up with his kids. He's let in on what the situation is, and the group is told that they need to find a key in one of the crypts. It's very important that they get this key, because it will literally unlock the truth to breaking the curse. With Ezra and Emma's help, Jim, Megan, and Michael venture out into the cemetery.
The key is in the mausoleum.
You left your key in a mausoleum.
You know, I think all directions should be given cryptically and in song. Alright, so they found the correct crypt. All Jim has to do is go down there and find the key. Thankfully, Megan decides to help him. Well, that was easy.
Okay, that gypsy had me thinking it was going to be hard. That was easy.
For the record, this is exactly what my family reunions look like. Thankfully, these reanimated dead are slow, so with Michael's help, Jim and Megan are able to escape with the key. However, unlike Jim assumed, this key does not unlock the doors to get out of this place. Instead, it belongs to a trunk. Within is a letter from Elizabeth, which reveals that she did not commit suicide. Ramsley is responsible for her death, all because he thought he was preventing the downfall of the Gracie legacy by stopping Edward and Elizabeth's marriage. Ramsley appears and quickly traps Megan and Michael while dispatching Jim. Sarah does not believe that she is Elizabeth 2.0, which causes Gracie to second guess that she is. But Ramsley reassures him and ensures that Sarah will go through with the wedding by threatening the safety of her children. Jim finally gets back into the mansion by throwing his entire car through the windows. After saving Megan and Michael, they stop the wedding and reveal the truth to Gracie. Naturally, this goes over real well with Ramsley.
Damn you all to hell!
I am willing to bet that didn't go according to plan. Ramsley may have still won in the end, as the poison he put in the wedding wine is taking effect.
Elizabeth, is it you?
Yes, my love.
Now that he's finally been reunited with Elizabeth, Gracie gives the Evers the deed to the mansion. The trapped spirits ascend to heaven with the curse broken, and those who remained, for some reason, are taken with the Evers. And with that, the credits roll. The atmosphere and settings are fabulous. It feels very much of the Haunted Mansion vibes. They capture the eeriness of it very well. The whole thing wasn't difficult to sit through and did keep my attention. It has something for both kids and adults. The story and plot is predictable, but interesting enough. You can see all the twists coming, but all the same it can make for an easy watch. It could have been scarier and pushed the limits, but it's Disney and made for kids. It still has some pretty unsettling and scary elements. Eddie Murphy, while not being the worst choice, probably wasn't the best for this role either. He did decently and didn't stick out like a sore thumb. The climax/ending feels rushed, and there are a number of plot holes. When Ramsley summoned the spirits, how come hell reaches up and grabs him? If there was a chance that could happen, why would he risk it? While I don't think this movie deserves the outright hate it's received, I don't think it quite reaches good either. It's just sort of something that I want to mention that's been brought to my attention since the first time I watched this film is a potential underlying theme here. It's made very clear that Ramsley didn't like Elizabeth, right? And the concept of Gracie marrying her was practically unspeakable to him. Here's my question. Is that a class thing? Or a race thing? Hear me out. Further proof of it being more of a race thing is how Ramsley treats Jim. Again, it could be something else. Like he just thinks Jim is a complete idiot. But there are several instances where Ramsley just refuses to acknowledge Jim exists. Clearly, I'm not the right person to be doing an in-depth analysis on this, but I still wanted to mention it because it could actually make sense. With all that being said, I'm giving The Haunted Mansion 5.5 out of 10 bloody thumbs up. I actually remember watching this premiere on the Disney Channel as a kid. Even then, I didn't find it particularly scary, aside from one scene. I think it aimed to do the history and the story of the Haunted Mansion justice. It didn't take a shit on it, at least, even if it did kind of miss the mark. It could have been so much worse, people. And I can't point my finger at Eddie Murphy either. When you put Eddie Murphy into your movie, you're going to get all of his Eddie Murphyisms, whether that's right for the movie or not. Maybe it would have been better to cast someone else as the lead, but he still worked to do what he needed to for this role. I can easily see where the film could have gone, and what it could have been. It just fell a touch short. I would recommend The Haunted Mansion to fans of the original attractions, Disney enthusiasts, people looking for a fun and spooky movie to enjoy with their kids, and anyone who's curious to see what kind of a hell realtors really go through. See you later.